What is going on, guys? Kind of Fool here with my week one thoughts. Just a friendly reminder, this is for the Sunday games because the Monday games always get highlighted because they're the only games on Monday and it's ESPN. So what else? So we're just gonna go over. I'm just gonna go over surprises, some thoughts about certain games, and I'll do this every Monday, maybe Tuesday. But like I said, Monday night games you will not see. It they're always covered because it's ESPN, like I said. I might do Thursday games, but it depends on how good they were. Giants, Cowboys, I was surprised that the Cowboys won. That's pretty much all I have on that. And Ogletree played bad secondary. That'll be his best game of the year. But we're just going to jump right into it. All of you know I'm a Bills fan. Yeah, and we got destroyed. I'll tell you this right now. I'm not surprised that we lost. I'm surprised by the amount of points they scored on us. 24 of their points came off turnovers. I'm not sure if I said this in my week one predictions, but I said for the Jets to win this game, their defense needs to cause turnovers, and Mark Sanchez needs to not cause turnovers. They did that. We ran cover 2 all game. They kept throwing over linebackers. They kept throwing the sidelines, and we did not adjust to that accordingly. They ran 27 times. We held 94 yards. I guess that's the only big thing that defense did was stop the run. 27 times, he averaged less than 3 yards, but Sean Green's not a spectacular runner. CJ Spiller went off. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We watched some of the plays on Mario Williams. Some people might say, oh, not worth the money. The right tackle that was covering him was legally using his hands. You cannot use your hands on the opponent. If you use your hands, it's a 10-yard penalty. Maybe 15, I'm not 100% sure on that. But he used his hands about, I would say, 15 to 20 times on Mario Williams. But there's no excuse to losing that game. I just thought maybe the replacement referees might have not known that penalty. They made horrible calls in every game. I thought this week one was the best week one in a very long time, but there will be an asterisk next to it because of the replacement refs. There were some calls that they made perfectly. Like Tony Holmes made a really good catch, but he vaulted with his hand out of bounds before his other foot touched. No touchdown. They called that perfect. They made some good calls, but they missed a lot of calls. Doesn't surprise me. We need to get the real refs back, though. I guess in the Arizona Seahawks game, I didn't see it. There was a penalty that changed the game and I think made Arizona win, which was a surprise to me. I picked Seattle to win it. I thought Seattle would annihilate them. But Arizona came out with a win and John Skelton got hurt. I was surprised by how much points Philly scored and how close that game was. 1 point and the Browns could have won. That Mike Vick threw 4 interceptions. Maybe 3. Matt Stafford threw 4 interceptions. That score of the game was so surprising to me. I thought it'd be 30-3. I didn't expect that defense to pick Mike Vick off that many times. It was a big surprise to me that the Browns were close to winning that game. I thought that game would be a very, very type of game where everybody's like, yep, Eagles are going to win it. I was surprised at the fact that Detroit and Detroit and I think Minnesota both had to score in the last 20 seconds against teams that nobody thought would have won that game. St. Louis had the lead in 20 seconds. They allowed a touchdown in the last, I think it was 20 seconds. Allowed a touchdown. They easily could have game winner that win. Matthew Stafford had a terrible game. St. Louis, their defense is not to sleep on no more. They had Quentin Finnegan, Janoris Jenkins, Kendall Langford. They had solid linebackers, and they have veteran safeties. The defense is not to sleep on, but I was surprised they almost won that game. I thought Detroit would easily win that game, and their secondary was completely banged up. I thought it would be a higher scored game too. Atlanta, Julio Jones. I was like, he's going to break out. Boom. First game of the season, 2 touchdowns. I think he had over 100 yards receiving. Matt Ryan, but easily the best quarterback this week. He he they're gonna be an asterisk to that game because they were missing Brandon Flowers, they were missing Tom Ali, they were missing their nose tackle, but Matt Ryan had a perfect game. I'm not gonna put an asterisk next to the game because he did what they drafted him for, and that's to win games like that and be a playmaker. And that's what he did. Minnesota getting away with a win barely. Adrian Peterson in the game, not surprised me. I really thought he wouldn't get the touches as he did, but he scored 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, Virus, I told you to not start him, but you also listen to ESPN. Toby Gerhardt was not to be found in that game. I thought they would just be careful AP, seeing it was Jacksonville who was missing some defensive players. Didn't surprise me that Blaine Gabbert played that well. He did good in preseason. I feel he will have a very, very good season compared to last season's. And Marcus Jones-Drew getting a lot of the workload, but Rashard Jennings, what appears he might have a serious knee injury. He came in and played well too. There was nothing really else surprising. The lack of scoring in the Tampa Bay Carolina game, you could say. I thought it'd be higher scoring because both defenses are terrible. Cam Newton did not play well at all. Doug Martin had a pretty good debut. San Francisco beating Green Bay, I wasn't surprised at all. That wasn't really surprising. I thought maybe it could be a high-scoring game. David Akers kicking a 63-yard field goal. He's almost 38-year-old. Yes, it hit the crossbar and tumbled in, but that's 63 yards for a 38-year-old. That was astonishing, and it looks like he's gonna have another record-breaking year, like he did last year. Now you might say, oh, what about Washington beating New Orleans? That wasn't surprising to me, seeing that they went in there, the Saints went in there, and they're missing Jabari Greer. Patrick Robinson got hurt. Top two corners were injured and didn't play at all the game. It's mildly surprising, but people are like, oh my god, they're so surprised. RG3, yeah, everybody's going to also be saying, oh, RG3 had a great game. I would say just look at that secondary and how Jabari Greer wasn't there. Patrick Robinson, I think, got hurt in the first quarter. Drew Brees was not Drew Brees. That offense was out of sync. Props to Washington for winning the game. They won that game. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm just saying, when people are like, oh, RG3, he had a beast game. Yes, he did have a beast game, but look at the secondary he was playing. He was playing against, I think the corner ended up playing most of the game was a corner they picked up last week from the Rams. I want to see if he can be consistent. Drew Brees, like I said, did not look the same. So Washington win a game, like I said, it was a mild surprise. I wasn't like, wow. I was like, oh, okay. I expected the Saints to win that game. They didn't. I was like, okay. It's they obviously won the game. Drew Brees was the same. Secondary was beat up, but the Redskins, plain and simple, won that game. That's just how I feel about that game. But definitely this week 1, everybody's waiting for football season this year. Right off to a bang. A lot of close games. And my thoughts on really the Denver-Pittsburgh game. I don't know. Like, I picked Pittsburgh. I picked Pittsburgh to win that game. I'm not sure if I did say this, but it doesn't surprise me Denver won. If they lacked to get any pressure to Peyton Manning, then Peyton Manning was going to eat them alive. Which they did, so there's nothing really surprising there. Major injuries this week. There was many. Torn ACL for David Nelson is the word on the street right now for the Bills. Fred Jackson did get hurt. What surprised me actually was the Titans' offense. That was terrible. Chris Johnson, I don't think ever over 50 total yards that game. I was surprised by New England's defensive play. Jay Clocker did suffer a separated shoulder, I believe. But that game, I thought New England was going to win it, but I thought Tennessee might put up a fight. So, and also, what I'm going to do on these videos too is going to add a question like, there's a lot of breakout players this week. Running backs specifically, Stephen Ridley, Alfred Morris, DJ Spiller, and Adrian Peterson. I'm going to ask a question every other video. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it and who I think should be considered it, and then you comment below who you thought it would be. Give a little explanation, nice little twist to the video. So I'll pick 4 players that I thought were just like came out of nowhere. I'm like, wow, I didn't expect this from them. So Stephen Ridley, I think 22 rushes, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's somewhat surprising for me. I thought he would do good, but I thought Tennessee might limit him a little bit. Now you're going to see